Hey everybody, I'm Sean Cardinale. It's day 7 of quarantine and I'm feeling it just a little bit. My health is still gratefully, thankfully good. I can just feel the sort of energy ebb a little bit. And when we're on shows, when we're shooting, often Derek Chavez, some other teams that I've been on, we do Hawaii Fridays. So I thought I would stick with that theme. Luxury resort behind me. I don't even know if that's Hawaii. That might be like Palm Beach or something. I don't know, or Palm Springs rather. But anyway, so I was feeling a little bit of inertia, a little slowdown. I exercised to sort of counter that. I got on FaceTime with my ex, her husband, and my daughter. My son was still sleeping, so I sent him a shout, and hopefully he'll call me back later. It was good to make those connections and feel life beyond, the door and windows here, beyond the palm trees here. So I'm having a little fun with it. I know the background looks janky. It's like one of those, little trial runs, but I got to do what I got to do to sort of keep stimulated, keep positive, and keep sending these ridiculous messages to you just to have a little fun and to have a little levity in light of all the gravity that I'm sure folks are feeling around the circumstances we're in. There was a new news brief this morning, got some information from that, from our elected officials, and hopefully, the plans will go accordingly and help us all get through this as far as our masks and possible medicines, vaccination. We'll see what happens. But there really is something that I've accepted on this hopefully short-lived journey, maybe a couple weeks, maybe probably a couple months, and that's just acceptance. There's, again, I've said it before, there's this obvious powerlessness. None of us is in control right now of anything, and as long as we keep sort of heeding the prescriptions of our elected officials and health officials, hopefully we can flatten this curve out and start joining one another again in actual locations like the one behind me. I was talking to a producer friend of mine yesterday. He's interested in a script that I'm crafting right now with a writer buddy as well, writer partner, Jaron. And I was also talking with Jaron and his wife, Em. And what we all said in one way or another was, here's one thing you can really do while going through this process. All those things you've been putting off, do them. So every time I tell someone I'm a writer, every time I tell someone I'm trying to produce movies and TV, etc., everyone always has, oh, I've wanted to write. I have a screenplay idea. Hey, I've got this TV show. Hey, there's a novel I've just been sitting on for years, and then say NaNoWriMo comes around every April or November, and you're like, hey, did you write that novel? And it doesn't happen. So we have the time now. Again, I'm trying to put out silver linings. I'm trying to make lemonade out of lemons, and that's kind of an incredible one. Myself, I've been more prolific than I've ever been. I am blowing through the script that I'm working on right now. I'm going to go back to a script that I actually put down to work on the one. There's time now. We have no choice. There's time now, even if we're isolated, to get the things done that we want to do. So I want to encourage everyone to do that. You want to do your spring cleaning early? Great. You wanted to get in shape, get on the treadmill? It's at home. Just do it right there. You wanted to knit that sweater, write that book, organize your photos, digital or old school, printed photos into albums. You have the time now. We have the time now. There's no excuse. So I'm not trying to, club anybody over the head, but I'm trying to really encourage, everyone to do those things that you've put off. I mean, we are here doing this all together. There's nothing but time while we're all trying to stay healthy and hunker down with each other. One thing I notice is I don't check the weather as much anymore. Every day, if you live in New Mexico, you gotta go out, check your phone. Oh, it's gonna rain, and then it's gonna not, and then it's gonna be windy, and then it's gonna be raining again. So you sort of prepare all your clothes to adapt to the weather out here, the days as they change, especially in the spring and fall when it's kind of wonky. And I haven't been doing that. I just realized. So I got really surprised when it rained the other night. The rain woke me up, and when the wind started to gust. So that was weird. Just the things that I'm noticing that I don't do so automatically like I would if I was running outside and going to work and needed to know if I needed to grab an umbrella or not. This process again has been kind of a little flashback for me. As a kid, I isolated a lot, spent hours and weeks and days and months in my room. Like even over the summertime, I have a ton of cousins, love them all. And I had a good friend group in junior high and high school, but I still, even all the way into high school, felt solace in crafting the stories just like I do now. It's why it's the one thing I've always wanted to do is world build. And so I have, again, like I've said, the time to do that right now, but I'm sort of used to it. So if there's anyone that's freaking out, is not used to just sort of staying in place, shelter in place, I think is the phrase, and being in this sort of quiet isolation, again, use the tools at your disposal. Hit me up if you want. Hit me up on Facebook. Send a message in the thread if you respond and say, hey, can we chat? Can we text? Can we email? Any and all of those, all the above, I'm open to do. Again, we have time. We can spend this time while isolating, connecting. So that's cool. Again, it just really reminds me of coming up with my own G.I. Joe characters, my own comic book stories, and like the great comic book artist, this painter, Alex Ross. Just built from scratch, informed by the Marvel comics I was reading and copying. And so now, again, this can be a really fertile time, while it's also odd and surreal and a little bit scary. So I hope to hear from my coworker today, who was, I think, getting test results, and I'll check in on her, make sure she's feeling better. And please tell me what you're doing. Tell me how you're passing the time. I think I mentioned I had a great conversation with my goddaughter the other day and got really caught up in what their situation was and how they're doing. And I got my mail delivered from the management company of the apartments downstairs. They brought it to my door and I waited till they walked off. Same with my groceries. So people are really doing these acts of kindness, and I'm grateful. And I hope, again, that can connect us while we are all having to spend time apart. So have a great Friday. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about the math of this. Well, I'll get it out right now. Someone explained to me, if I'm on day 7 and it's Friday and I started Saturday, why is it not Saturday? Why is it 8 days in a week and not 7? I've never been big on math. You guys know I'm a writer. So why, if I have been in for a week and this is day 7 and I started on Saturday, why is it not? This is me and math, oil and water. Somebody help me out. So I'll leave you with that and some more island tunes. And again, this is an opportunity for us to come together while being forced apart. And I wish you all well. Talk to you again soon. Take care.